everyone, I'm Heather and thank you for joining me today. Today's practice is a calming flow, and our breath is really a valuable tool. It can calm us, it can energize us, and we'll be utilizing our breath with movement today to leave you feeling relaxed and ready to take on your day. You need a blanket if you have sensitive knees, just to pad your knees. Grab a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or even a scarf. And if you've got yoga blocks, grab those as well. So go ahead and get comfortable, get ready to flow into calmness. See you soon. Alright, so we're going to begin with some alternate nostril breathing. And alternate nostril breathing is a really powerful breathing technique because it helps to balance your central nervous system. And not only does it help to calm your sympathetic nervous system, which makes you feel more agitated and stressed, but it also helps to ramp up your parasympathetic nervous system that instills a sense of calm into your body and into your mind. And your body functions the way it's supposed to function. Your digestion works properly. It actually decreases inflammation. And it can also help with headaches and sinus pressure. And I can tell spring is about to come because I've started to get those sinus headaches already. I don't know if you're a sufferer, but it's not fun. And you get a little congestion as well. So this breathing technique can have a whole host of benefits for you. So just come to a comfortable seat. You may wish to have a tissue nearby, sometimes because it does help relieve some sinus pressure. Things start flowing, and don't let that freak you out, right? But you may want to just blow your nose after the breathing technique. So as you find a comfortable seat, you're going to use your right hand. And the hardest part about this breathing technique is just to get the hand position right. And it's really not that complicated. So you're going to take your index finger and your middle finger, and you're just going to drop them down. And it's kind of like you're making a symbol you'd see on Star Trek, something like that. I date myself. Use your thumb and just bring it up to the corner of your right eye and just gently slide it down the right side of your nose. And you're going to feel when that cartilage ends, and you'll be able to just seal off your right nostril. Do the same thing with your ring finger. Bring it up to the corner of your left eye and gently just slide it down until you feel that cartilage, almost that little bony sensation end, and you can seal off both nostrils and you'll sound really nasally, right, like me. That's about where you want to seal the nostrils. And you don't want to come too low, because that's when you start to struggle with a lot of noise and difficulty to breathe. And it's just a gentle pinch, right? Don't feel like you have to push really, really hard. Just gently sealing the nostrils. And then release your ring finger. So on that left side, inhale through your left. Seal the left nostril, release your thumb, and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right side. Seal the right nostril and exhale through your left. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. And exhale left. Inhaling right. And exhale left. Keep going, inhaling through one side. And exhaling through the opposite. continue to breathe in one side and out the other, just relax your body. Notice, are you tensing up? Allow your inhales and exhales to be long and complete. And it's okay if you make some funny noises. Practice for another minute. Just breathing long into one nostril and out the opposite. You'll finish with exhaling out the left nostril. So just take your time. When you finish, dropping that right hand down, and just allow your breath to be natural, not forced. Noticing how you feel. If you feel any difference, sometimes you can almost experience a sensation of lightness through the head. You may be able to breathe a little better. And then allow your breath just to build into long inhales coming in through your nose and out through your nose. So long breath in and long breath out. Just taking your deepest breaths of your day right here, right now. You can open the eyes and go ahead and come out of your seat. You're gonna need your blocks, and if you don't have blocks, you can use a rolled up blanket. It could be any blanket off your couch. You can also use a bolster for this as well. So I'm gonna choose to use my blocks, but I am gonna take my blanket and use it as a little pillow under my head. And go ahead and grab those blocks and come on down to your back. We're going to find a supported bridge pose. So lifting your hips up and bring your blocks or your bolster or your blanket under your pelvis, under your glute cheeks. Make sure it's not in your low back and it's not too low that you don't feel supported. This creates a nice little back bend. And you can start to walk your feet forward if that feels okay in your low back. And just relax your hands. You can tuck the shoulder blades under, and this allows for a stretch to come into the front of the hips. It can feel really nice, especially if you suffer from any low back pain. This can relieve that low back pain pretty instantaneously. And taking some deep breaths here. And relaxing the muscles of your legs. One more breath. If the legs are straight, start to walk them back. So just bending your knees. And you want to think of your knees being right on top of your heels. Your feet are hips width distance apart. Go ahead and push the feet into the mat and lift your hips up. Remove your blocks or that blanket or bolster and bring your hips all the way down. Hug the knees into your belly and you'll feel your low back push into the mat. So rock a little side to side. These first few poses that we're doing today, they're very calming and they can be extremely calming to your low back. So it's one of the things I hear a lot from my yoga students is, I need help with my back today, right? Whether it's low back, mid back, upper back. So these few poses are really nice for your low back. You're gonna take your hands behind your knees, really pull that low belly in so your low back is supported, and just start to rock up to your seat. And if it takes you a couple rocks, that's okay. Find your strap if you have one. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or a scarf, or you can just skip it entirely and you can still do these poses. But have your strap nearby if you have it. And from this seated pose, hinge forward at the hips, walk your sits bones back. Your knees can bend as much as they need to. And if this creates any discomfort in your low back or in your hips, take that blanket. You can always fold it up a little higher and just have a seat on your blanket. You inhale, think of growing and sitting as tall as you can through your torso, and exhale, hinge from your hips, come forward. And just relax your hands here. You want to keep your neck nice and neutral, so resist the urge to drop your chin down. Reach that belly, that chest forward a little more. Relax your shoulders. You can always use blocks under your hands here just to support your forearms if that feels good. And using your breath, each exhale, relaxing any tightness you're feeling in your legs. And just walk those heels forward a little more if that works. On your next inhale, lift up about halfway. Think of reaching out of your low back. Your torso is growing longer and coming forward. And as you exhale, fold down. A few more breaths. As you inhale, begin to lift up, and exhale, coming all the way up. We're going to take our butterfly pose, bound angle in Sanskrit, Baddha Konasana. So just join the soles of your feet together. You can stay seated on that blanket if you like. Once again, grow really tall through the top of your head, and that hinge comes from your hips. Bring the torso forward. Your hands can relax. They can always come to some blocks for support. Maybe you like to take the hands under the feet and grab hold, and that works too. Be mindful of your head and your neck once again. So a lot of us have a tendency to drop our chins because we feel like we're stretching a little more, right? But keep length to the front and back side of your neck. Instead, reach your belly, reach your heart forward more. And so we're just starting to increase an opening sensation through the hips, just allowing the thighs to soften. A lot of times if you have low back pain, you have pain that radiates into your hips, and your hamstrings can feel tight as well. So poses that emphasize opening the hips and lengthening the hamstrings are really beneficial for your low back. Begin to lift up, take your time. Close your thighs together and reach your legs forward. So we're actually going to come onto our back again. So scoot off your blanket if you're seated. If you want to use it as a pillow, you can. Grab that strap if you have it. And we're going to have a little fancy seesaw. Right, so you can open your strap or belt or scarf. Again, if you don't have it, it's okay. If you do have it, place it around the balls of both feet, right? So you just have a hold of your feet. And you can bend your knees a little bit. Make sure you have enough space behind you so that you can roll back. You're gonna pull the belly in and up. Inhale. As you exhale, start to rock back and the legs go up to the sky. And you can adjust on your blanket if you need to. So you're just supporting yourself in this easy inversion, and your pelvis is nice and heavy on the mat. You kind of have an L shape with your body, right? And again, knees can be soft. And resist the urge, if you're using a strap, to feel like you need to walk your hands up towards your feet. Instead, slide your hands down and feel your elbows touch the ground. So you're just creating a shape, a scaffolding with the strap or belt. Invite a few deep breaths here. And this easy inversion, really good for your immune system. It helps your lymphatic system work more efficiently. It also lowers your heart rate and your blood pressure. If you're using a strap or belt, you're going to start to bend your left knee and bring your left foot down to the ground, keeping the strap around that right foot. If you're not using a strap, just take your hands gently behind that right thigh, and your right knee can be as bent as you need it to be. We'll find a little stretch through the hamstring. So as you inhale, reach your right heel up to the sky. And as you exhale, pull that right foot back a little bit. Inhale, lift your right heel up to the sky. And exhale, pull back. Nice and calm. Just going a little deeper with each breath. And then begin to bend your right knee. And we're going to come into a half happy baby. So you can bring both ends of the strap into your right hand. And now slide your right hand up as close as you can to your right foot. And pull that right thigh, that right knee towards the right side of your abdomen. Think of the sole of your right foot lifting up towards the ceiling. If you don't have a strap here, you can bring the hands behind that right knee, or you can even bring your right hand up to the outside of your right foot. And you may wish to even do that with a strap too, just to get a tighter hold. But the strap can be nice because it can really allow you to pull that right thigh in and takes the stress out of reaching the foot. So what you're creating here is a really deep compression at your right hip crease. Awesome to increase flexibility there. Just 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, go ahead, straighten that right leg back up towards the ceiling. You're gonna straighten your left leg, and it doesn't have to go all the way straight, right? You can keep a little bend there if it creates discomfort in your low back. Take both ends of the strap in your left hand, and you're gonna pull that right leg all the way over to the left. You're gonna rock to the outer edge of your left hip and the outer edge of your left foot, and reach that right arm out to the right. You're in a nice big spinal twist. So if you don't have a strap on this one, right leg is up to the sky. That left hand can help the right leg come over. And just do your best here. You can bend your knees on both legs to help you. And it should feel like a really big twist. If it feels really intense, pay attention in your body where you're feeling a lot of the resistance, and adjust, back off a little so that you can find a little more ease in the twist. And as you inhale, bend that right knee, lift the right leg back up through center. Bend your left knee, bring the sole of that left foot back to the mat. And you're just gonna release your strap. Straighten your right leg all the way to the top of your mat. Just relax the right leg for a few moments. And then bending your right knee, we'll do the other side. So bending that left knee in, you can take the strap around the ball of your left foot. Lift that left foot up to the sky. Slide your hands down the length of the strap if you're using it. Elbows touch the mat. So just create the shape first. If you're not using a strap, hands gently support that left leg. You can bring the hands behind the left thigh. Begin to use your breath. Inhale, lift that left heel up to the ceiling. Exhale, pull the left leg back. And these are really tiny movements. Right? Just going a little deeper into the stretch with your breath. Really relax your left quadricep, right, the front of your left thigh. Moving both ends of the strap into your left hand. You can slide that left hand up closer to the left foot. We're moving into half happy baby. So begin to pull that left thigh onto the left side of your belly. The sole of your left foot, it's as if it's standing on the ground, but you have a really deep bend in that left knee. You can always grab the outer edge of your left foot if you like. If you don't have a strap, you can grab behind your left knee or the foot. Each exhale, pull that left thigh in towards the left side of your belly a little more. Start to straighten your left leg. Take both ends of the strap in your right hand if you're using a strap. Otherwise, right hand can come just to the outside of that left thigh. Straighten your right leg, and we're gonna move into the twist. Knees can be bent and soft here. Dropping that left leg over to the right. Rock to the outer edge of your right hip and the outer edge of your right foot. Reach that left arm out to the left. Left palm is up. And it might feel really tight at first. Do your best to back off a little, bend your knees a little more. Relax into it. It's gonna get easier, I promise you. Bend that left knee, start to lift back through center, coming out of the twist. Right knee bends and the sole of your right foot comes to the mat. Remove your strap if you're using it and straighten your left leg all the way to the top of your mat. Just relax your left leg for a moment. Nice big breath in through your nose, side out your mouth. It's a beautiful day. You're on your mat. All is good. Hug both knees in. Pull that belly in and up. And you're going to rock up to your seat again. If it takes you a couple rocks, that works. Come forward into your tabletop position onto all fours. And if your knees are sensitive here, you can use a blanket under your knees. I'm just going to set my blanket to side. As you come into your table, stack your shoulders on top of your wrists and allow your knees to be under your hips. And just move around a little bit. Right? Maybe move side to side. Maybe you do cat and cow if that's your jam. Right? Maybe you rock the hips back and then forward. But just getting comfortable weight bearing into your hands a little more. And from here, we find downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward a full hand's length. Shoulders are behind the wrists. Curl the toes under and start to lift the hips up to the sky. Feet come hips width distance apart and really bend your knees. Start to sink your heels down towards the mat, but the knees can stay pretty bent. Push your belly, your chest back to your thighs. And instead of lifting your tail up, think of dropping your tail down to the earth a little more. 3 breaths here, pushing through those hands. As you exhale, drop the knees. Bring your big toes together, sit the hips back to the heels, finding a child's pose. And your forehead can come down to the mat. If that's a little intense, come up onto your forearms. And if you have headaches ever in your yoga practice, child's pose on your forearms can be a little nicer to the head, right? Because it doesn't increase that pressure as much. Rise back to your table. So you can approach each of these poses, these standing poses, from table or from down dog. So if you're coming into it from table, you're just going to reach your right leg behind you and step your right foot forward to replace your right hand. If you want to do it through down dog, go ahead, lift the hips up. Reach your right leg behind, hug your right knee in, and step your right foot forward. So it all comes to that place where the right foot is forward, and go ahead and lift your back knee. If you're using blocks, grab those blocks, and you're gonna walk the blocks over to the left side of your mat. Turn your right toes over to the left. Line up your toes and heels, and allow the outer edges of your feet to be parallel to the top and back of your mat. Your knees can bend here. And you can do this with blocks, without. You can even do this with a bolster. If the hands can come down easily flat, you don't need anything, right? Just start to walk your hands forward. And if you are using blocks, you can walk the blocks forward. You can scoot a bolster forward. And begin to walk the hands out to the point where it feels like a lot of your weight is coming forward and your heels want to lift. That's your tipping point. That's your stopping point. So just back off a little bit, ground through your feet, and relax your chest down towards the mat. If this is really tight in your shoulders, widen your hands. This is melting heart in a different variation, right? We're lengthening the backs of the legs, but think about a gentle hand pushing that space between your shoulder blades down towards the mat a little more. Begin to lift your head, walk your hands, your blocks back if you're using them. And if you can get your hands flat to the ground, you're okay. You can also use blocks under each hand. We're gonna find a little twisty flow. So hands under shoulders, knees are soft. As you inhale, reach your right arm out to the right. Start to turn your belly, your chest to the right. As you exhale, bring the right hand down. Inhale, left arm sweeps out to the left, and you find an easy twist to the left. Exhale, release that left hand down. Inhale, right arm reaches out, twisting to the right. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, left arm reaches out, twisting left, and exhale. Do this 2 more times. Inhale, maybe you go a little deeper. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more time. Knees stay soft. Little bend in them. And 1 more time to the left. And come back down. Awesome job. Push through your feet and slowly rise through standing. Turn your toes out 45 degrees and just bend your knees. You're coming into a goddess pose. Your hands can be on your thighs, but stay really tall and strong in your torso. So no slouching, right? Inhale, as you exhale, drop your right shoulder down to the midline. Inhale, peel that right shoulder back and up, and exhale, drop your left shoulder down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, right shoulder drops. Keep going with your breath. This is a great, simple move if you have tension in your upper back, your shoulders, but it's twisty, right? So it's really nice for your low back as well. You can take 1 more each side. through center and straighten your legs. Works the legs too, which is good. Left toes are gonna turn in, right toes turn forward, and widen your stance a little bit, because we're coming into warrior two. Your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips, arms open out to the side. Bend that right knee. Sink down through your right heel and feel your right thigh sink down. We play a little tug of war today. You're gonna inhale, reach the right side of your waist forward. That right hand's gonna go forward. Exhale, reach the left side of your waist back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach back. 2 more times. So just working the sides of your waist. And your legs. 1 more time to the back. And straighten that front leg. Turn both feet to face the side of your mat. Left toes are going to turn to the back. Right toes turn in slightly. Shoulders over hips. We're just repeating on the other side. Arms go out, bend that left knee. Find stability through both feet. Push them down. And now inhale, reach the left side of the waist over the left thigh. Exhale, right hand reaches back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, back. It's a heave ho, right? Heave and a ho. It's a tug of war. 1 more time. And center, straighten both legs. That feels so much better. Turn both feet to face the side of your mat. Bend your knees, hinge at your hips. Grab those blocks if you've got them. And you're gonna turn your right toes to the original top of your mat. Lift your back heel and drop your left knee down. That left knee can come to a blanket for extra support. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, you're just gonna sit the hips back and peel your right toes back. Inhale, rock forward, come to the sole of your right foot. And exhale, sit it back. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, sit it back. Beautiful. Do 2 more like this. Inhale, just creating mobility through the hips. Stretching the hamstring. 1 more. And coming forward. So you can repeat that 5 more times, or you can take it up to the next level. Lift yourself up, reach your arms up. Inhale, shift the hips forward, lift your heart. Exhale, sit it back. Inhale, lift up, heart reaches forward into the sky. Exhale, sit it back. So a lot of core strength here. You're pulling that belly in and up. Your inner thighs are squeezing together. 2 more. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, sit it back. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend your right knee. Bring your hands forward. You can set those blocks off to the side. So you're either going to come to your table or your down dog. You bring that right knee down, back for table. Maybe lift your hips into your down dog. If you came into your table, go ahead, sit the hips back to the heels, take a child's pose. If you came to down dog, stay here. 5 breaths. To begin the other side, either lift to your table and reach your left leg behind you, or from down dog, reach your left leg behind. Exhale, left knee comes in and step your left foot forward. Bring those blocks under your hands if you're using them, and you're gonna walk over to the right side of your mat. So once again, turning both toes to face the right side, feeling grounded through your feet. Take one block with you if you have it, and rise up. If you don't have a block, no worries, we can still do this. Left toes turn forward, right toes turn in slightly. If you look at your feet, you have a straight line from your left heel to the arch of your back foot. Take that block and place it just to the outside of your right calf. So if you're really tall, right, maybe you put a low block under a high block, and that'll give you a little higher perch. Triangle pose. Now the hands come to the hips. Your right hip lifts a little higher, and just start to lean the left side of your waist forward over your left thigh. Look for that block if you're using it, and left hand comes to your block. If you don't have a block, left hand gently comes to your left leg. Right arm's gonna reach up to the sky. Just grow broad through your chest, stretching out. So we find a little flow in our triangle, little micro bend in your left knee. You're gonna inhale, reach your right hand forward all the way to the top of the mat. And then exhale, circle that right arm all the way around and back up to the sky. Inhale, reach the right hand forward. Exhale, circle around and back to the sky. 3 more times. One more. Beautiful. And then bend your left knee. You can pick up that block if you're using it. Rise through standing. Turn both feet to face the right side of your mat, and we switch sides. Right toes turn to the back, left toes turn in. You can place your block or blocks to the outside of your right calf if you're using it. Hands to hips. Left hip pushes back, lean over that right thigh. Right hand comes down to the block or that right leg, left arm reaches up. So push through your feet, they're your foundation. Inhale, reach that left arm forward. Exhale, circle it around and back up to the sky. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, circle around and up to the sky. 3 more. Nice and controlled with your breath. Create a sense of calm with each movement, each breath. Bend the right knee. You can take your block with you if you're using. Rise back up. Turn both feet to face the right side of your mat, and turn your left toes forward again. Bend your left knee, because we're going to come into that lunge. So hands frame your left foot can move over to the left, right heel lifts, drop your right knee. Hands can be on the ground or on blocks. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, sit the hips back, peel those right toes back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, sit it back. Inhale, forward. And exhale, back. Beautiful. One more like this, and then I'll give you the option to take it up. Inhale, come forward. So you can repeat that 5 more times, or start to lift through your torso. Fingertips lift up. Inhale. Exhale, sit it back. Take your time. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, sit it back. 3 more. Inhale. Do it at your own pace. One more. I might have lost counts, but it always is good to do one more, right? And then coming back up, kneeling, hands to the mat or to your blocks. Go ahead, set those blocks off to the side. Hands come down. So you can come to table, or if you're coming to down dog, lift that right knee and step your left foot back. 5 breaths here. You can shift the hips back to the heels into your child's pose if you came to table. And if you're still in down dog, go ahead, drop to your knees. Take a few breaths in your child's. So sit it back there. Begin to lift yourself up. So we're going to practice pigeon pose today. It's a little bit different of a pigeon. I call it the friendly pigeon, right? Because it's a little bit easier the way the position of the knee happens. It's nice if you have a blanket and your blocks handy in case you need them to support you. So all you're going to do is you're going to crawl a little more towards the top of your mat. And you're going to shift your hips to the right and allow that right leg to come out in front of you. Your left knee is bent, and if this is really painful on your left knee, just straighten your left leg. Bring your right foot to the center line of your mat. And so you may be comfortable just here. If your right knee is really high, I'm going to advise you to stay here, maybe sit on a blanket and just fold forward. But if you're comfortable with that left knee bent, you're going to grab your right ankle and you're going to pull your right heel in towards your perineum. So you're, in a sense, kind of closing your knee, if you're not sure what I'm talking about. So right here, my knee is kind of open, right? And I'm just going to pull the foot in, and now I got this nice bend at the knee. Your knee likes it like this. It's safe, it's happy, right? Your knees are really interesting because your knee's happy like this, it's happy like this. It's the in-between rotations that happen that can cause problems in your knee. So you're either here and folding seated, or that left leg is behind and you close the knee. If you close the knee, you're going to lift yourself up and walk that left leg back. So your right knee can point slightly out to the right. That might be comfortable for some of you. Mine is a little more comfortable when I have about a straight line from my right hip up to my right knee. You can use blocks under your hands here to create a little lift. Really walk that left leg back. Inhale. As you exhale, then come forward. And you can position blocks, or a bolster is awesome in this pose to bring the forearms down to. What you don't want to do is drop all your weight over to your right hip, right? Lift it up there. So both hip points are pointing forward. A few breaths here. Nice big breath in through your nose and a big exhale out. And now to come out of it, Give yourself permission to drop all the weight over to the right. And you're gonna bring that left leg forward. So if you're in the seated version, all you have to do is reach that left leg forward. Right knee's gonna pop up to the sky, and we'll take a nice seated twist. So have a little space between your left leg and your right foot. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist. Right hand comes behind your back for support. And just feel your belly slide across that right inner thigh. So squeeze your right thigh inward to make contact with the belly. And releasing the twist. Straighten your right leg out, give it a little shake. So other side, left knee is gonna bend. You're gonna shift your weight over to the left. Bring that right leg behind you. So this is position 1 to go into the full pigeon. If that's not working for your knees, right leg reaches out to the right side. Left foot works more to the center of your mat, and you're gonna fold. If you are coming into the pigeon, grab a hold of the left ankle, pull the left heel in close to the perineum, and then lift yourself up and walk that right leg back, back, back. I need more room. And so as you lift up, maybe you've got blocks or a bolster under your hands. Both hip points are pointing forward, right? You can lift up through your torso. It's okay, this left glute cheek is off the mat. That's why this one's a little different. And then fold forward. But it's nicer to your knees. It emphasizes the stretch in the hips and the glutes. It's friendlier to your low back. Big breath in and out. And just one more breath. Beautiful. Start to lift up. Now you can shift all your weight over to the left, and everyone is going to bring that right leg forward and pop your left knee up to the sky. You're on the sole of that left foot. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist left. Left hand can come behind the back. Squeeze that left thigh inward. And begin to unwind. Straighten your left leg. Give them a shake. Grab your blocks or rolled up blanket or your bolster, because we're going back to the beginning, right? Because it's the perfect counter pose. So come onto your back. You can always use a blanket under your head. Knees bend, hips lift. Blocks or a blanket or bolster comes under your pelvis. And start to walk your feet forward. If that's okay in your low back. If not, keep your knees bent. And this should feel amazing at this point, right? Because your hips just did a lot of work. Relax your legs. You can rock the head a little side to side. Just allow your body to be heavy, to be relaxed. Begin to bend your knees, soles of the feet to your mat, and lift your hips up. Remove your blocks or your bolster, your blanket, and bring the pelvis down. Walk your feet forward a few inches. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Keeping your feet hips width distance apart. A little free movement. And gently hug your knees into your belly so you can give that back bend a little counter stretch. Feel that low back push into your mat. Maybe rock a little side to side. Maybe just stay still. Right? Sometimes just that push of the low back into the mat is so comforting. Maybe you take hold of the knees and you draw some circles on the ceiling, each direction. And coming into your Shavasana, drop your feet down. And you want to create a comfy position for yourself. So if your low back is giving you any trouble, maybe keep your knees bent. You can even knock your knees together. Or maybe you stretch out, right? If you prefer to come into that more traditional corpse pose, take up some space on your mats, anything that works for you. And the goal is to just relax your body, relax your mind. Give yourself a break, right? Take a load off for a few minutes of your day. Soften the space between the brows. If you are troubled by some headaches, you can always rub the temples a little bit. But just taking this time to rest. You're welcome to stay here in this resting pose as long as you like. If you're ready to invite some small movements back into your body, just start to turn the head side to side. Invite a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you reach the arms to the wall behind you. Take a giant stretch. Bringing those knees into your belly. No hurry here. Take your time. And at your own pace, coming up to your seat so you can rock up or perhaps roll to one side and use your hands to come up. And just allowing yourself to come into your seated pose. Sit up nice and tall. And just thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for showing up. That's the hardest part. Draw your palms together at your heart center. And I thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste.